Catherine Esther Beecher lived between 1800 and 1878. She was a mid-19th century activist for women's educational and vocational training. She was born to a prominent family, and she attended Litchfield Female Academy. Through her own school experiences, she saw the need for a different level of education for women and girls, who at the time were primarily being prepared to run a household. Beecher looked to improve their lives through natural tendencies to care and teach the young. She believed that women should have equal access to education that their male counterparts had access to. Her impact on the world of education laid the groundwork for educational equality for women. Beecher, with her sister, opened Hartford Female Seminary in 1823. She offered girls a full range of studies that included physical education to improve women's health and to disprove the thought that women were fragile. Beecher, who supported herself and her ideas through lectures and books, became an early spokesperson for women's equal access to quality education. Beecher saw that women had the natural tendencies to care and teach young children, making them the perfect candidate to become teachers. She sought out others who shared this same ideal. She saw an opportunity to encourage women in the New England area to move west to begin training themselves through advanced educational experience. Beecher, who opposed women's suffrage, believed that a woman's true strength and influence lay within her domestic roles and teaching strategies. Due to her unrelenting ideals, she became one of the foremost influential people in the idea of difference feminism, helping to advance women into the world of education and teaching. Through her unwavering view of women's value, both educationally and domestically, Beecher dedicated her life to seeing the unjust failures of women's education corrected and to train women for the working world, specifically teaching. Beecher used her influence and savvy to convince others that women were capable and worth taking a chance on. She rallied to put women in educational positions that would have a large impact on the lives of the children that they taught. Beecher led the drive in building schools in the West during the 1840s and 50s. This led to an astounding number of female educators throughout the country. Thousands of positions were created and filled by women in New England during the 1860s. Beecher sought to build these schools and train teachers specifically to enhance their educational experience. Some of the things that I noticed with Beecher and that tended to not ring true with some of her ideals were the fact that she seemed to be advocating for women to become teachers and further their education, yet she was also writing books telling women how to become domestic housewives. And she pushed them to want more for their lives, however, while seamlessly telling them that their job was to become a successful housewife. And basically gave them the how-to on how to do that. The other problem that I saw with Beecher's theories and philosophies were that she believed that women were capable of being domestic more than just domestic servants. However, she didn't believe that they were capable of becoming doctors and lawyers. She pushed for them to become teachers because she felt that that was in line with their already natural abilities as women, and that the skills and training were very much the same, and so it was a natural progression. One of the other critiques that I read was from Nancy Hoffman, a professor of education at Brown University, and she saw the contradictory views of Beecher as well that she had in her own life, where Beecher was a successful entrepreneur living the life of a professional woman, Yet she was not doing any of the things that she pushed women to do that she wrote about in her books. She saw that this was something that Beecher lacked in. She did agree with Beecher's assessment of the waste of talents women often suffered as instruments in the primary lives of the males in which they existed with then. Beecher thought that women's lives were wasted on the males around them, which I can very much agree with. During that time period, I think that women were meant for more, and I think that while there were some things that Beecher could have gotten better at saying, I think that she started the foundation for which women became educators. And I think that that's a huge thing for women now, because there are so many of us in this field, that she kind of laid the groundwork for educating us to do more, even if her views were a little skewed at the time. One of the quotes that I really found that I liked, and I can agree with even to this day, that she talked about, was, if all females were not only well educated themselves, but were well prepared to communicate in an easy manner their stores of knowledge to others, if they not only knew how to regulate their own minds, tempers, and habits, but how to effect improvements in those around them, the face of society would be speedily changed. And I think that this not only applies to females, but all teachers in all genres of life. We as adults have to be able to control ourselves to teach children how to control themselves and how to regulate themselves. And I think that when we do that, we'll be able to greatly assist society in becoming more successful. Thanks.